Hey guys, this is Phil from Untitled.com, and we got two modules, or the friends so call, for the LG G5. It's a modular smartphone, so you can change up the module that cater to your needs. And this is called the Cam Plus, that has up the grip and 1200 milliamps of battery, although that works only when you're launching the camera. But it's retailing at $69.99. I wouldn't call that exactly cheap, but firstly, that's a Cam Plus. Now, this is called the B&O Hi-Fi Plus. So this official name is the LG Hi-Fi Plus with B&O Play. So it's co-designed with Bang & Olufsen, and it adds a portable 32-bit Hi-Fi DAC with amp to your phone. I'm pretty sure that the V10, the predecessing flagship, also had the 32-bit DAC built in. I don't know why they left it out with this one and added up with the module, but here we go. Now, the one downside with the Hi-Fi Plus is that these are not sold in the stateside. So not only that they're not selling in the stateside, but also if you get it from the other regions like South Korea, Asia, or Europe, it wouldn't work with your G5. It simply won't boot up. I'm not really sure why they did it that way. Maybe it's like the licensing issues, or the B&O probably wouldn't wanted this in the stateside because less of the B&O Hi-Fi devices will be sold. But anyway, that's the situation right now. So if you're in the stateside, forget about this guy unless you're importing the G5 as whole. All right, let's start with the Cam Plus. So here we go with the Cam Plus, real camera user experience. That's what it says. But here is the here's the internals. So here's the user manual, and you can see that it only works with the Korean model, but I'm not really sure if that's true, but that's what it says. So here is the user manual, and here's a little notice for the burst shot. So burst shot will be added up through the software update. Maybe by the time that you're watching this video, it would have maybe already added up. We're not really sure, but that's at least what it says. And here we go with the Cam Plus itself. So this is the Cam Plus. So basically, it's just like a grip. It's an additional grip that adds up a dial. Camera shutter key is a two-step shutter key, and the video recording button, a little LED that tells you about the 1200 milliamps of battery built in, and the camera launching key, a little microphone, USB Type-C speaker. So that's the basics of the Cam Plus. All right, so let's take a look. So this is the G5, and since it doesn't have any built-in battery, you will have to replace the module, and when you do so, it will turn off. So now you take out the original module and detach the battery from the module. Remember to do that, because if you just add up the Cam Plus, it won't work. And what you do here is, you attach the module just like that and slide it back in. Of course, you will have to turn it on back, but let's deal with the basics. So this is a $69.99 module, and the built-in battery works only when you're inside a camera, when you're taking a photo or taking a video. The one place that you can use the 1200 milliamps battery elsewhere is when you just press any of the buttons in your idle mode to your G5, and then it will start charging your G5 for approximately 6 minutes. That also has two catches. Firstly, your Cam Plus has to have above 15% of the battery, and your G5 shouldn't be empty enough to be turned off automatically. So your G5 has to be turned on, and you have to have at least 15% of the battery left over in there. And I can see that it doesn't really fit perfectly there. We'll get used to it. But anyway, and another catch is that you cannot use the OTG on-the-go or the external flash drive with the Cam Plus attached to it. Probably that's because they're already using up the USB connections with the Cam Plus when it's attached. But here we go. So when your phone is turned off, you can just slide that power key, and here goes with the camera app. All right, so the first thing that you can do is, of course, a dial over here, so you can switch that dial to zoom in, and you can use that two-step shutter key to take a photo, or you can start recording your video by tapping a video recording button there. And you can slide back out even more to use or to switch to the wider angle lens there, because it has two lenses. All right, so that's pretty much it. I would say the dial isn't exactly, say, feeling too premium. It just rotates around just like that. But aside from that, the grip itself feels pretty nice, and I can see that why they tried adding up some grip. it definitely feels safer and handier and let's say stabilized overall with the grip. But I'm not really sure if you would want to carry this all the time because it definitely makes your phone thick, heavy, and it wouldn't really fit nicely to your pocket. So I don't know, it's up to you if you want to carry this around. Maybe in a special occasion when you're going camping or hiking, then you can get this with the little additional juice, which has limited uses. But that's the basics of the LG Cam Plus. So little dials, buttons, and whatnot, a little grip. All right, enough with that. So let's switch to the Hi-Fi Plus. Of course, if you want to do that, then you will have to detach the Cam Plus, and that, of course, kills your phone. All right, but let's go ahead and the Hi-Fi Plus. Unfortunate little Hi-Fi Plus, that's not sold in the stateside, but luckily I'm living in Korea. So here we go with the Korean variant of the Hi-Fi Plus. All right, so here we go with the actual module itself right there. Below that, beneath that is a manual, and it specifies that it's also designed for the F700 LSK, which is South Korean model for 3 different providers. And they even added up a little pouch, a synthetic leather. Yeah, synthetic. Is that real? I think it's synthetic. Anyway, a little leather pouch, whether it's synthetic or genuine, and little micro USB and the USB Type-C cable. Why? It's because the Hi-Fi Plus comes in with a little adapter on top. So it's covering the Hi-Fi module right now. You can see the little Bang & Olufsen logo right there. It's in black. The G5 itself comes in 4 different colors, but there is only one color of the Hi-Fi module. It's in black. So if you have any color other than the Titan, I think it could look a little weird. But here we go with the USB Type-C and the earphone jack on the bottom with the speaker and a microphone. And there is a little USB Type-C port right there. That is there because, you know, this is a no cheap device. It's retailing at around $165 in South Korea right now. So it's not cheap. And what if you get, you know, what if you switch another phone, you know, given that these modules won't be compatible with the G6 or G7 or whatnot, then it will be such a waste. You don't want to go to Craigslist to sell this. So here's a little adapter. You can use this for any devices that supports the USB DAC with the little, with the little micro USB cable they generously included, and you can use it for the PC as well. So you can add up the 32-bit DAC to any of the devices of your liking. So again, we're gonna pull this battery pack off. We're gonna open this guy up and we're going to install the battery just like that. Now we're ready and to the G5 itself. So we can do this, and here we go. All right, so let's give that a power. While it's turning on, as I said, it's not sold in the stateside, and if you get this, your American G5 won't boot up, so you wouldn't have to give that a try. And as I said, the color doesn't really quite match up, and it just like looks like an original iPhone. I wasn't really a fan of the design back then, and I'm not now either, but that's what you get. A little black plastic on the bottom and a silvery metal on top, if you want to call that metal. Anyway, so we can unlock the phone, and it also makes your G5 a little longer because there's additional components inside there as well. And what you get with the 32-bit DAC or the Hi-Fi Plus attached is that your 32-bit DAC settings menu will be enabled once you plug in your own earphone on the bottom. Just like that. It's preparing Hi-Fi Plus, give it a few seconds, and it will enable that. You can change the volume. Now, there's a lot more delicate volume levels over there, and you can change the balance of the left and right there. Although I'm pretty sure that's supported in the accessibility originally. But anyway, so you can do that, and of course, you'll be able to enjoy that rich 32-bit DAC-enabled music. We don't really have the sample file over here already. I'm not exactly the FLAC guy, but you can definitely do that. I'm not an audiophile, so my initial impressions wouldn't exactly be helpful, but that's the basics with the 32-bit DAC. The catch over here is that if you want to listen to an FM radio, then it doesn't work that way, so you have to plug it in on the top earphone jack over there. I think it's ridiculous, but that's how they designed it. So here we go with the basic looks of the 32-bit DAC Hi-Fi Plus and LG Cam Plus. So LG is trying to bring more modules through the third-party developers They're gathering up ideas, what will be better for the modules, what creative modules out there that you can contribute, I think. Are they? Anyway, so hopefully there will be more modules coming. Meanwhile, those are the 2 basic modules that are on sale right now, except for America for the Hi-Fi Plus. But anyway, thank you always for watching. You can meet us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and we'll see you guys later. Ciao!